It was supposed to be a day of quiet remembrance. Instead, it became one of the most emotional royal moments Britain has witnessed in years. As the world marked what would have been Princess Diana's 65th birthday, all eyes turned to Prince William. Royal watchers expected a simple tribute. Perhaps a short message. Maybe a private family gathering. But according to growing reports and widespread discussion, William made a deeply personal gesture that left many people across Britain visibly emotional. Social media quickly filled with messages describing the moment as a powerful reminder that Diana's legacy continues to shape the future of the royal family. At the same time, comparisons with Prince Harry immediately began appearing online. Some commentators praised William for honoring his mother's memory through quiet actions rather than public statements. Others questioned whether the brothers still share the same vision of preserving Diana's legacy. But here's the important question. What exactly did Prince William do, and why has it touched so many people? It's important to separate verified public events from online speculation. William has repeatedly honored Princess Diana through his charitable work, mental health initiatives, and causes she deeply cared about. However, some dramatic stories circulating online about private family moments or confidential royal conversations surrounding Diana's birthday have not been independently verified. Today, we are breaking down what is publicly known about Diana's lasting influence, why William's latest tribute has generated such an emotional response, how her legacy continues through the next generation of royals, and why, nearly 3 decades after her passing, Princess Diana remains one of the most beloved figures in British history. Every year, the anniversary of Princess Diana's birthday becomes a deeply emotional moment for millions of people around the world. But this year felt different. July 1st marked what would have been Diana's 65th birthday, and long before the day arrived, royal watchers were already wondering whether Prince William or Prince Harry would publicly acknowledge the occasion. Social media filled with tributes, old photographs resurfaced across television networks, and documentaries once again revisited the extraordinary life of the woman many still affectionately call the People's Princess. Then, reports about William's quiet tribute began circulating, and within hours, headlines claimed his actions had left Britain in tears. Before discussing those reports, it's important to understand why Diana's birthday continues carrying such emotional significance nearly 3 decades after her death. Unlike many members of the royal family, Diana established a unique relationship with the public. She wasn't admired solely because of her royal title. She became known for her compassion, empathy, and willingness to connect personally with people facing illness, homelessness, poverty, and social exclusion. Whether comforting children in hospitals, embracing patients living with HIV during a time of widespread fear, or campaigning against landmines, Diana consistently showed a level of warmth that transformed public expectations of modern royalty. Even today, many charities continue describing her humanitarian work as revolutionary because she helped remove stigma surrounding issues many public figures previously avoided. That extraordinary legacy has inevitably shaped the lives of both of her sons. Prince William and Prince Harry have each spoken publicly over the years about the profound influence Diana continues to have on their lives. William has frequently said that much of his commitment to mental health awareness, homelessness initiatives, and community engagement reflects values he learned from his mother. Harry has likewise credited Diana with inspiring his work supporting veterans, mental health causes, and charitable organizations around the world. Although the brothers have followed very different personal paths in recent years, both continue acknowledging the impact Diana had on their understanding of public service. This year's birthday naturally renewed attention on William because of his increasingly important role within the monarchy. As heir to the throne, every public appearance carries additional meaning. Many royal observers believe William now represents not only the future of the crown, but also the continuation of many of Diana's most admired qualities. Over recent years, his projects addressing homelessness, environmental innovation through the Earthshot Prize, emergency responders, and mental health have often been compared with Diana's own people-focused approach to royal duties. Those comparisons help explain why any tribute William makes to his mother quickly attracts worldwide attention. Online reports suggested that William marked Diana's birthday through a deeply personal act connected to one of the causes she cared about most. Some social media posts claimed he privately honored her memory by emphasizing charitable work rather than making a dramatic public statement. Others described emotional private moments involving family members and suggested the gesture reflected Diana's lifelong belief that actions matter more than headlines. However, many of these detailed claims have not been independently verified through official palace announcements or reliable public reporting. While William has consistently honored Diana through charitable service in previous years, specific stories about private birthday events should be approached carefully unless confirmed by credible sources. Another reason these stories resonate so strongly is because the British public has long viewed William as the son who quietly carries many of Diana's characteristics. Royal commentators frequently point to his calm public demeanour, his emphasis on family life with Catherine, Princess of Wales, and his commitment to gradual, meaningful charitable work rather than constant publicity. Whether those comparisons are entirely fair is open to debate, but they have become a consistent part of modern royal coverage. Whenever William supports causes involving mental health, children, or vulnerable communities, many people naturally recall Diana's own humanitarian legacy. At the same time, Diana's birthday inevitably renews discussion about the relationship between William and Harry. For many years, the brothers stood together while honoring their mother's memory through charitable projects, memorial events, and public speeches. Today, however, their lives have taken very different directions. William continues preparing for his future responsibilities as king, while Harry has built a separate life in the United States with Meghan Markle. Because of that reality, almost every tribute connected to Diana now becomes viewed through the lens of the brothers' well-documented family differences. Yet it remains important to recognize that honoring Diana does not necessarily require identical approaches. Both sons have repeatedly expressed love and admiration for their mother, even if they now choose different ways of preserving her legacy. Perhaps that is why the latest reports have touched so many people. They remind audiences that Diana's influence extends far beyond history books or documentary films. Her values continue shaping charitable work, public service, and even the way many people think about compassion inside the royal family. Whether every emotional detail circulating online is accurate remains uncertain. What is undeniable is that Princess Diana's legacy continues inspiring millions of people, and every birthday serves as another reminder that her impact on Britain and the wider world has never truly faded. As news of Princess Diana's 65th birthday spread across Britain, something remarkable began happening. It wasn't just royal supporters remembering Diana. Younger generations, many of whom were born after her death, started sharing old interviews, photographs, documentaries, and charitable moments across social media. Nearly 3 decades after she passed away, Diana was once again dominating public conversation. That alone says something extraordinary about her legacy. Very few public figures remain this influential so many years after their death. For many people, Diana represented something larger than royalty. She represented compassion, empathy, kindness, the willingness to break royal traditions in order to connect with ordinary people. Those qualities continue shaping how many people judge today's royal family. That is one reason Prince William often finds himself compared to his mother. Throughout recent years, William has increasingly focused on causes that reflect Diana's people-first approach. His long-term campaign addressing homelessness has received particular attention. Rather than treating homelessness simply as a housing issue, William has repeatedly spoken about prevention, community support, and creating lasting solutions. Many royal commentators believe those priorities reflect lessons he learned from watching Diana spend time with vulnerable communities during his childhood. Similarly, William's work promoting mental health awareness has often been linked to Diana's openness about emotional well-being. Long before mental health became a mainstream public conversation, Diana spoke honestly about her own struggles. Many historians believe she helped reduce stigma simply by discussing issues that previous generations of royals rarely acknowledged publicly. William has continued expanding those conversations through campaigns encouraging people to seek support without shame. Because of those visible connections, many people viewed this year's birthday tribute as more than a personal remembrance. They saw it as another example of William quietly continuing the work Diana began decades ago. Online reports suggested William deliberately chose service over ceremony. Rather than organizing a highly publicized memorial event, some accounts claimed he preferred honoring Diana through meaningful charitable work and private reflection. However, the detailed descriptions of those private moments have not been officially confirmed by Buckingham Palace or independently verified through reliable public reporting. That distinction remains important. William's long-standing commitment to Diana's causes is well documented. Specific stories about private birthday activities often originate from anonymous sources or social media speculation. Another reason this story has attracted enormous attention involves Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Although their grandmother passed away years before they were born, many royal supporters believe William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have worked carefully to ensure the children understand Diana's importance within their family's history. William has previously spoken publicly about telling George and Charlotte stories about Granny Diana, helping them learn about the grandmother they never had the opportunity to meet. Those comments deeply touched many parents around the world. They reflected something universal: the desire to keep the memory of loved ones alive for future generations. Many online discussions surrounding Diana's birthday suggested William's children also participated in remembering their grandmother in quiet family ways. While those claims sound heartfelt, they remain private family matters and have not been publicly confirmed. Even so, many people found the idea emotionally meaningful because it aligns with what William has shared previously about introducing his children to Diana's memory. Meanwhile, comparisons with Prince Harry once again became unavoidable. Supporters of Harry noted that he has also devoted significant portions of his public life to causes inspired by Diana, particularly veterans' support through the Invictus Games and mental health advocacy. Others observed that William and Harry now honor their mother's legacy separately rather than together. That contrast has become one of the saddest aspects of modern royal coverage. For many years, the brothers stood side by side during memorial events dedicated to Diana. Today, they largely continue that remembrance independently. Yet despite public differences, both brothers have repeatedly spoken about the profound influence Diana continues having on their lives. That shared admiration remains one of the few subjects on which they have consistently expressed similar feelings. Another fascinating aspect of Diana's enduring popularity is how she continues influencing public expectations of modern royalty. Before Diana, many people viewed members of the royal family as distant ceremonial figures. Diana changed that perception. She hugged patients. She comforted grieving families. She visited hospitals without appearing rushed. She spent time speaking with children one-on-one. Those moments transformed public expectations forever. Today's younger royals, including William and Catherine, often receive praise when they display similar warmth during public engagements. Whether intentional or not, many observers believe Diana permanently changed what people expect from the monarchy. Perhaps that explains why stories about William honoring Diana continue resonating so deeply. People don't simply see a son remembering his mother. They see the future king preserving values they believe transformed the royal family forever. Whether every emotional detail circulating online is accurate remains uncertain. But one truth remains undeniable. Nearly 30 years after her passing, Princess Diana's influence continues shaping conversations about compassion, leadership, family, and public service, not only within the monarchy, but across Britain itself. As Britain continued reflecting on what would have been Princess Diana's 65th birthday, another question quietly emerged across newspapers, television programs, and social media. What would Diana think if she could see the royal family today? It's a question with no definite answer. Yet millions of people continue asking it because Diana's influence has never truly disappeared. Her sons are now raising families of their own. The monarchy has entered a completely new era under King Charles III. And the institution Diana once helped modernize continues evolving almost 3 decades after her passing. For many royal observers, Prince William represents the clearest connection between Diana's past and the monarchy's future. Not because he tries to copy his mother, but because many believe he has quietly adopted her philosophy of public service. Over recent years, William has increasingly focused on projects that address long-term social challenges rather than simply attending ceremonial engagements. His work on homelessness has become one of the clearest examples. Instead of treating homelessness as an unavoidable social problem, William has consistently argued that it can be prevented through coordinated action involving charities, local communities, businesses, and government organizations. Many commentators believe Diana would have admired that practical, people-focused approach. After all, she often emphasized meeting individuals where they were rather than viewing problems only through official institutions. Another area where Diana's influence is frequently discussed is mental health. Years before it became a common public conversation, Diana openly acknowledged emotional struggles that many public figures rarely discussed. She demonstrated vulnerability in a way that challenged traditional expectations surrounding royalty. Today, William has continued expanding conversations around emotional well-being through campaigns encouraging people to seek help without embarrassment. Those efforts are often described as a continuation, not a repetition, of Diana's legacy. Rather than copying his mother, William has adapted many of her values to address modern challenges. That distinction is important. The latest online reports claim William's birthday tribute deeply moved people across Britain because it reflected those lifelong values rather than relying on grand public ceremonies. Some stories suggest he deliberately chose quiet acts of remembrance instead of major announcements. Others describe private family reflections involving Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. However, these specific private moments have not been independently verified through official palace statements or reliable public reporting. They should therefore be viewed as unconfirmed accounts rather than established historical fact. Even without those unverified details, many people believe William honors Diana every day through his public work. Whenever he visits homeless shelters, supports emergency responders, advocates for children's mental health, or spends time listening carefully to members of the public. Royal supporters frequently notice similarities to Diana's compassionate style. Of course, William is not the only person preserving Diana's legacy. Prince Harry has repeatedly spoken about the enormous influence his mother continues having on his life. Through the Invictus Games, veterans advocacy, and mental health initiatives, Harry has also pursued causes reflecting values Diana championed throughout her life. Although the brothers now work separately, many people believe both continue carrying different aspects of Diana's legacy. That shared connection makes their current distance especially emotional for longtime royal followers. Many still remember the young princes walking behind Diana's funeral procession in 1997. Today, those boys have become fathers themselves. They now face many of the same challenges Diana hoped they would one day navigate with compassion and integrity. Perhaps that's why Diana's birthday affects so many generations. Older Britons remember watching her change the monarchy. Middle-aged audiences remember the grief surrounding her passing. Younger generations discover her through documentaries, photographs, and stories shared by their parents. Very few members of the royal family have remained so culturally significant across multiple generations. Another fascinating aspect of this year's discussion involves the next generation of royals. Although Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis never knew Diana personally, they are growing up surrounded by stories about her extraordinary life. William has previously explained that he talks to George and Charlotte about Granny Diana, helping them understand the grandmother whose influence remains part of their family's identity. Many parents found those comments deeply relatable. Families around the world often preserve memories of loved ones for children who never had the opportunity to meet them. That universal experience helps explain why stories involving Diana continue resonating so strongly. They are not simply about royalty. They are about family, memory, legacy, love, and the hope that important values continue passing from one generation to the next. Ultimately, whether or not every dramatic online story surrounding Diana's 65th birthday proves accurate, one truth remains beyond dispute. Princess Diana's legacy continues shaping both public expectations of the monarchy and the charitable priorities embraced by many members of the royal family today. That influence may ultimately become her greatest achievement. Not simply changing the monarchy during her lifetime, but continuing to inspire it long after she was gone. As the world continued reflecting on Princess Diana's 65th birthday, another powerful question emerged. Has Prince William become the guardian of Diana's legacy, not through speeches, but through the life he has chosen to lead? For many royal observers, the answer increasingly appears to be yes. Unlike previous generations of the royal family, William has consistently emphasized that the monarchy must remain connected to the everyday lives of ordinary people. That philosophy sounds remarkably familiar. It was one of the qualities that made Diana so beloved. She didn't simply attend royal engagements. She connected with people. She listened. She comforted. She made individuals feel seen. Those moments became the foundation of her extraordinary popularity. Today, many supporters believe William has quietly adopted that same approach. Rather than chasing headlines, he has focused on long-term projects designed to create measurable change. His work through Homewards, the initiative aimed at making homelessness rare, brief, and unrepeated, reflects years of planning rather than symbolic appearances. Instead of presenting homelessness as an impossible problem, William has repeatedly argued that communities can solve it by working together. Many commentators have described that philosophy as deeply consistent with Diana's own belief that compassion should always be matched with action. That is one reason this year's birthday became so emotional for many people. It wasn't simply about remembering Diana. It was about recognizing how her influence continues shaping the future king. Online discussions suggested William deliberately chose quiet reflection over grand public ceremony. Several viral posts claimed he spent the day supporting charitable causes connected to Diana's lifelong work, while privately remembering his mother with his family. Others even described deeply personal conversations involving Catherine, Princess of Wales, and their children. However, these specific accounts have not been officially confirmed by Buckingham Palace or independently verified through reliable reporting. They should therefore be viewed as unverified claims rather than established fact. What is publicly observable is William's consistent approach over many years. Whenever significant anniversaries connected to Diana arrive, he generally avoids dramatic publicity. Instead, his charitable work often becomes the most visible tribute. Many royal historians believe that reflects Diana's own priorities. She rarely wanted attention focused entirely on herself. She wanted attention focused on the people she hoped to help. Another topic widely discussed during Diana's birthday was the next generation. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis are growing up with increasing public responsibilities. Every appearance they make attracts enormous media attention. Many royal experts believe William and Catherine are carefully balancing two important responsibilities: preparing their children for future royal roles, while also protecting them from unnecessary public pressure. That careful balance may itself reflect lessons William learned from his own childhood. Growing up under constant media attention wasn't always easy. William has spoken previously about wanting his children to experience as normal a childhood as possible despite their unique responsibilities. Many people believe Diana would have strongly supported that approach. Another interesting aspect of this year's conversation involved public expectations of the monarchy itself. Since King Charles III became monarch, many observers have discussed how the institution continues evolving. William's increasing responsibilities naturally place him at the center of those discussions. Supporters often argue that he represents a blend of traditional constitutional duty and Diana's more personal, compassionate style. Critics sometimes question whether modern expectations place unrealistic demands on members of the royal family. Regardless of perspective, one fact remains clear. William now occupies a position unlike any he has previously held. Every public action carries greater significance, because people increasingly view him not simply as Diana's son, but as Britain's future king. Meanwhile, Prince Harry also continued honoring his mother's memory in his own way. Although William and Harry now live very different lives, both have consistently described Diana as the greatest influence on their understanding of compassion, service, and family. Many royal supporters continue hoping that one day, Diana's memory might even help bring the brothers closer together again. Whether that hope becomes reality remains impossible to know. Family reconciliation is a deeply personal matter that only those directly involved can truly understand. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Diana's enduring legacy is that it continues inspiring people who never even met her. Young adults born years after her death still watch documentaries about her life. Children learn about her charitable work in school. Hospitals, charities, and humanitarian organizations continue citing her influence decades later. Very few public figures achieve that kind of lasting impact. Ultimately, this year's birthday wasn't simply about looking backward. It was also about looking forward. Every project William undertakes, every conversation about mental health, every effort to support vulnerable communities, every attempt to modernize public service, becomes another chapter in the story Diana began many years ago. Whether every emotional headline surrounding her birthday proves accurate is less important than one undeniable truth. Princess Diana's compassion continues influencing the royal family and the nation she loved, nearly 3 decades after her passing. As we reach the end of this story, one thing stands out above everything else. Princess Diana's greatest legacy was never a royal title, it was the way she changed how people believed royalty should care for others. Nearly 30 years after her passing, her influence continues to shape conversations about compassion, leadership, family, and public service. Very few members of the royal family have left such a lasting mark. Every year, millions of people still remember her birthday. Flowers continue appearing outside places connected to her life. Documentaries continue attracting new audiences. Young people, who were born long after 1997, continue discovering her story. That kind of legacy cannot be measured by headlines alone. It is measured by the lives she touched. Throughout this year's remembrance, many people focused on Prince William. Not because he delivered a dramatic public speech. Not because he organized a grand royal ceremony. But because many believe he continues honoring Diana through the work he chooses to do every day. His commitment to tackling homelessness. His advocacy for mental health. His support for young people. His emphasis on community service. Those public efforts are well documented and have often reminded royal observers of Diana's belief that compassion should always lead to action. At the same time, several online stories claimed William made an emotional private gesture on Diana's 65th birthday that left Britain in tears. Some reports described deeply personal family moments involving Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Others suggested William privately reflected on Diana's memory while encouraging his children to learn about the grandmother they never had the chance to meet. However, these specific accounts have not been confirmed by Buckingham Palace or verified through reliable public reporting. That distinction matters. The emotional impact of Diana's legacy is real. The private details circulating online remain unverified. Perhaps the most moving part of this entire story isn't one specific birthday tribute. It's the fact that Diana continues bringing people together across generations. Older Britons remember watching her transform the image of the monarchy. Middle-aged audiences remember the extraordinary public grief that followed her passing. Younger generations continue discovering her kindness through documentaries, books, charitable projects, and the stories shared by William and Harry themselves. Few public figures remain this universally admired for so long. Another important part of Diana's legacy lives through both of her sons. Although Prince William and Prince Harry now follow very different paths, each has repeatedly credited their mother with shaping their understanding of compassion and public service. William continues preparing for the responsibilities of a future king while expanding long-term charitable initiatives. Harry continues supporting veterans through the Invictus Games, mental health advocacy, and humanitarian causes around the world. Their approaches may differ. Their public roles may have changed. But both continue acknowledging the influence Diana had on the people they became. Many royal supporters quietly hope that one day, the shared memory of their mother might also help heal the distance between the brothers. Whether that happens remains entirely unknown. Family relationships are deeply personal, and only those involved truly understand the conversations taking place behind closed doors. For now, that hope remains exactly that. A hope, not a confirmed reality. Looking toward the future, William's role will only continue growing. Every year brings him closer to the responsibilities of kingship. Every public engagement attracts greater attention. Every decision is examined through the lens of both constitutional duty and personal leadership. Many people believe that if Diana's compassion continues guiding his approach to public service, her legacy will remain woven into the future of the monarchy itself. That may ultimately become the greatest tribute any son could offer. Not simply remembering his mother, but allowing her values to influence generations still to come. Now we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Prince William carries Princess Diana's legacy in the way she would have hoped? What do you think was Diana's greatest gift to the royal family and to the world? Share your thoughts and memories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this royal story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest royal updates, exclusive discussions, and in-depth stories about the British royal family. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.